Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Under the Dome Season 2. This week we got to see the airing of Under the Dome Season 2, Episode 4, Revelation. Alright, so as always, my reviews do contain spoilers. If you haven't seen all the way up to the current episode of Under the Dome, you may or may not want to watch this, as I may give away some things. So, Under the Dome Season 2, what do we think? Well, this is a tough one for me. I think Under the Dome Season 1 finished really strong, and it had some really great episodes throughout the season. But there was, a good number of characters in the show that have been killed off at this point, especially with the big double kill in Season 2, Episode 1, major spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, where they kill off both Linda and Angie. Now, this is one I'll probably do a whole video on pretty soon, giving my thoughts on that, because to me, it was a really big mistake that they made with the show. The ratings have already started to slip. I believe last week's was the lowest the show has ever had. And I would assume that this week's is probably not going to be any better, and maybe going forward the show will actually get canceled, and if it slips any further it could get canceled. Now I hope it doesn't, because I do like the series, and I did think that it had great potential when it first started out. It had amazing potential. Some of the CG was incredible with the dome, some of the other stuff that was going on was really cool, but now I'm starting to worry that it was kind of a one-trick pony type of series. This episode right here was really crazy. We go from from episode 3 to the end of episode 4. The things that occur during this episode are really nuts. So first of all, in charge of Chester's Mill, at the beginning of the episode, you have Big Jim, Rebecca, and essentially Barbie, I guess, is if you had to pick 3. Those would be your most prominent members of Chester's Mill at that time that make decisions for the group. Now, at the end of the episode, it's kind of totally been flipped upside down. You have Big Jim and Rebecca, who are basically going to be thrown in jail, at least for a little while, I would think, until they're tried or something. And then you have Julia and Sam, who basically have somehow, I guess, taken control of the situation, I guess, due to finding out about the plot, Barbie kind of being out of the picture, and them, going ahead and doing that. And it's really, really strange. We also kind of see these scratches on Sam's chest, which may lead you to believe that, was he involved in the murder of Angie? Was he the one who did it? It seems very possible at this time. Seems like it. And it's just a really weird change from episode to episode to go through so much, change in terms of the power of leadership in the town. So, and here's the weird thing. The episode, up until now, our good guy, I guess, type characters have been them. Now, they've kind of fought amongst each other. Now, when I say them, I mean Big Jim, Rebecca, and Barbie, up until now. Julia's always been there. You had Linda, who... Rebecca is almost like a replacement for Linda, I look at this time. That's kind of the way I feel about her. She's kind of replacing that role because Linda, of course, was killed off. Then, of course, you have Junior as well, too. But they were kind of the ones that were, in the power position. And now they've been portrayed almost as like the bad guys now in this episode, which was really a really weird shift to look at them as the bad guys, because Rebecca's planning on doing, and even the music and everything, the way they shot the episode, plays them off to be kind of the bad guys. Rebecca, the music and everything is kind of dark and ominous when she's doing her thing, and they can't release it, they can't do it, but to come up with the idea and come so close to it, they're trying to find a solution for something that doesn't really sound like there's an easy solution to, aside from just kind of waiting it out and seeing what happens. Basically, because they're running out of food. They're only, I believe they said, a week, and then 2 weeks everyone will be basically starving. So what's the solution? Is there one? I don't know at this point. So what's going to happen? It's very exciting for the future of the series and how everything's just going to kind of break down to see what will happen with Chester's Mill after that point in the series, because I believe the novel originally from Stephen King was almost going to be called The Cannibals or something like that. So, will cannibalism begin? Will we see something like that? Again, that would be a really different shift if they bring that in, getting close to the end of season 2, but it looks like we're getting there. Now, here's the weird thing about this one is that Julia and Sam are kind of shot, at least to me. The bad guys are supposed to be Big Jim, Rebecca, and the others. They're supposed to be like these heroes coming to stop them or something, but they're not really. Julia, I hate Julia. I really do. I can't stand her at this point. And, it's funny how Jim refers to her as. And it feels kind of true, too. Like, she tells Sam he can stay and all this. It's like, I don't know. It's just, and then she kicks Barbie out, or she doesn't let him in. And I don't know how I feel. It's just, I don't like her as a character. I don't care for her very much. Sam, at the same time, I also hate him too. I don't think anybody's really supposed to like him. He's kind of like this neutral, almost, you want to think like good guy type character to, a bad guy at this point. And then of course, you have Lyle, who's been added in there, who of course is a bad guy as well too, and he breaks free, as we kind of knew he would anyway. You could see it being set up. We all figured it was going to happen. I even mentioned in last week's review. You could kind of tell. It was pretty predictable. So you got that, and I don't know what to make of the show at this point. It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of episode to episode, I question to myself, do I like this episode? Do I not like this episode? I don't know. It was definitely interesting. I can say that. I can say that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens next in the show, but I can't say that I liked the episode or I didn't in this case. Because of those things, because I don't like Julia. I don't want to see, her face off against Big Jim and the others and have this, thing between them, and have on her group this Sam guy who's probably a serial killer or something of the sort, it seems. And it's just, it's weird. Then in the mix, you have to add in that Melanie character, who's the new kind of, almost like a replacement Angie, I almost want to think of her as, which, you have the kind of love triangle thing that seems to be maybe starting between her and Joe and Nori, and I don't know how I feel about it. We get the revelation in this one that she was killed by Sam, we think, or, that she was killed on that spot, and then somehow she comes back to life in the egg. Like her essence was transferred into the egg or something and then released. I don't know. So, in terms of the score, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, with 6.5 being average. I think it was shot well. It looked good. The acting was pretty good for the most part. Sometimes it's questionable on Under the Dome. And I did think the developments were definitely interesting. And it definitely keeps me wanting to see what's going to happen next. But I don't know. At the same time, I don't know if I like it, because I like Big Jim. I'm a fan of these characters. And they're losing. Now, I've learned one thing from Game of Thrones, and that's don't be a sore loser if your favorite characters... don't turn on a series just because your favorite characters lose sometimes, and that's something that series taught me as a viewer. So in this one, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say I hated the episode just because they lost, in this situation so far. But, of course, it's not over yet, and we'll have to see what happens next. But what I really want to do is I really want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this one? I definitely want to read the comments for this video, so please share your thoughts below with everybody and let us know, because I'm on the fence. I don't know if I should say I really liked it. I definitely didn't hate it, but I don't know. It was definitely interesting. I'll put it that way. It was an interesting episode, and I don't think it was terrible, but I'm a bit of a sore loser even still to this day. So, and when my favorite characters lose, I kind of tend to dislike something that happens in. So let me know what you guys think about all that. Kind of a crazy episode, kind of a crazy series, and whether or not you want to see a video of me giving my thoughts just on the character deaths in Season 2, please let me know. And yeah, if you guys like the review, if you like the video, please thumb it up, like it below. Let me know what you thought about the episode, and if you want to help support the channel, please share it, tell a friend about it, and that's pretty much it for this review, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, as always, and I'm saying peace.